Yeah, welcome. Hello, everybody. Good to be here. Today, we're going to be discussing the new patch 5.1 that's dropping tomorrow. Super excited about it. Definitely been one of the bigger patches that I've dropped. So, welcome in, everybody. This is the patch 5.1 review. Excuse me. And as you can see, it is dropping tomorrow on the 25th of June. So, sorry about that. I was just finishing eating. Right, let's say hello to everybody, all of you beautiful, wholesome hunks. The blog post has been linked to the top of the channel as well, at the top of the chat, so by all means, guys, do jump in there. So, Karanak, what does Karanak do? Is a bloody good question. So, let's go ahead and read and digest it, go through it, and then see what we think. So, Hound of Vengeance explained. So, obviously, he's a three-headed fleshhound that prowls Khorne's grand throne room. Hey, DB. He never sleeps. For like the blood god's unreasoning vengeance, Karanak is ever watchful. Each of his heads tracks his quarry in a different fashion. The first head follows the trail through this physical space, tracking the victims over plains, forests, mountains, and all environments. Damn. Second one follows the scent. And of the three heads, the last is the most dangerous, for the other two can be fooled by those with the wit to do so. Okay. So, abilities. Seemingly, the abilities will be Prey of the Blood God, active ability. With the odor of his victim thick in his nostrils, Karanak play draws closer. The blood scent stronger until there is no escape. So, it looks like we can net any hero or lord, especially mages. My god, that's going to be terrifying. Especially any kind of mages, that's going to be absolutely disgusting. So it's going to definitely change things up for multiplayer as well, as Karanak is going to have the ability to then isolate mages and heroes that are, particularly traditionally speaking, quite squishy. Next one is we can summon some fleshhounds, which is pretty damn nice. Being able to summon fleshhounds, especially within this, depends on the cost, obviously, and depends on how easy it is to get within your Khorne campaigns. I'm going to imagine like Valkyrie and things like that can also have access into them. Okay. So this is the passive. So Karak's kills are Quicksilver Perfection. The better to swiftly feed his hunger and his master's need for split blood. When nearby enemy units are routing, Karak's melee attack and weapon strength is boosted, turning him into an even fiercer pursuer. I wonder if that will stack, as in, I know similar to the way the carry's passive works, he does AoE damage to units that are routing or have low leadership. Similar, maybe it doesn't kind of stack up. I'm going to be interested to see how the dynamics there, if it actually is a passive that will continue to keep stacking across the battlefield. Because if it's only one that makes it just so they're routing, obviously heroes and lords will be really, really easy to isolate. So a passive ability as well, until the battlefield offers no hiding place from his chosen hunter. That makes it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for units to take advantage of their hide stalk. Wow. Even Unspottable Tribute is crazy. So Khorne's going to absolutely roll over Beastmen. You know, what else? Wood Elves. Kind of crazy to think about. So we now know that is an item of a passive ability, so thicker and heavier than those of his pack. His collar of Khorne is enhanced with spite and aberration. So the passive ability can prevent his prey from using active abilities. So a silence thing. So silence is something that's been explored within the latest DLC for Kislev specifically. So it's good to see that being used more often. That's also even more terrifying, so like a mage can't heal themselves. The collar also removes the enemy's ability to perform magical attacks. Guess that kind of makes sense. So no magical attacks, which may mean that this is a must-have if Karanak is very physical resist dependent, so akin to a lot of the ethereal units. So here is a huge one. Conquest mode. Patch 5.1 has introduced a new competitive battle mode. So if you guys aren't aware, we did a stream of this where we played the latest. It was a mod. It was an improved land battle mod. And the wonderful the wonderful creator of the mod, I think Gojira, was one of the ones that kind of pioneered this one. I believe they are shouted out, which is really dope to see, in as part of this one. So, one thing that often happens with land battles is everyone sort of you kind of struggle to kind of create balance between corner camping and things like that within ranked gameplay, especially. This sort of forces you to actually capture things. So taking the hybrid elements of domination and land battles and smidging them together. As to my tournaments later on later down the line, I most likely am going to use this game mode because it'll be interesting. But you can see Foe Seeker. This is probably the army ability that's or the ability that Karnak gets as well. There's another one here. So there's 2 summons clearly of the hounds, I would assume. Yeah, this is really cool. So 42 land battle maps have been malformed and changed to allow for this to be a thing. So yeah, really cool game mode. Are you guys going to be interested in playing this, do you think? But yeah, what's your guys' thoughts so far? Make sure to check out the notes as well. Obviously, we pinned them in the chat. Always love having talks with you guys. Yeah, army loses the ability if also in conquest mode. It will have to come more of a natural conclusion if one force vastly overwhelms the other one. Yeah, makes sense. So a lot of really cool maps. Good to see. These maps will be in quick battle rotation at launch. Nice. Yeah, Gojira is the one that I was speaking to. So really cool for making the land battle capture point mod. I am really a big fan of the fact that CA are listening and seeing mods work and function really well, and then being like, you know what, I'll take a piece of that. I'll take a piece of that. But we can see one final note, we'll be leaving the classical battles as a battle option for now. So clearly there's going to be 3 options, which is going to be interesting to see. Domination mode changes as well. The AI can now play domination mode. That is very cool. That is really cool, because oftentimes, you know, if you wanted to practice domination mode, you couldn't. You kind of had to play against a player in a custom battle or on obviously the ranked ladder. So being able to fight against the AI is very, very cool. It seems like the AI will prioritize capturing points first, but also move to attack the player's main forces. So we're going to be really interested to see how this plays, because obviously, I don't know if you guys are in agreements, but the AI in a lot of ways is not the best at certain situations like sieges especially. So I'm going to be interested to see how the AI is within this specific game mode. Have to wait and see. But yeah, I'd definitely I would happily give this a go. See what it's like. One thing I would love to know is if it has scaling difficulty. So, you know, the AI is, you know, it is harder to fight against, like a legendary AI. But I'd be interested to see if this is just more of a let people kind of play it, get a better understanding of it, kind of get a little bit of a feel to what it is. Lords can no longer be unsummoned. Wow, okay, that's interesting. So fixing a bug where single entities weren't providing capture weight if they were being surrounded. So a lot of this is obviously, oh my days, there's so much. So we'll skim through most of these as, you know, you guys, we can see that there's fix the bug where single entities weren't providing capture weight if they're being surrounded. That's good. So a couple bug fixes. Capture weight is now displayed on the unit info panel. That's really huge from a multiplayer perspective, and tons of awesome community maps that have been added in, so that's great. Crossroads are one of my favorite maps in the game, so it's good to see that being reused as well. A lot of really cool maps. Demons of Chaos is available in Quick Battle as well, which is absolutely massive. I believe there was a bug for a long, long time, which made it so they weren't able to use. And I know that Demons of Chaos specifically gets a lot of units and stuff like that, but so do Warriors of Chaos, so interesting one. Including community maps too. Yeah, it's really cool to see them take community maps as well. I know Total Tavern Pack with Turin, a lot of them there. Really, really cool mods, maps that have been developed there. So free-for-all mode changes. You can now play free-for-all battles against the AI. Small thing, but I think it's quite fun. Yeah, I think any of the times you can do stuff like that is always ideal. So here is another one. Obviously, we've got some battle UI updates where you can select the specific person you want to look at, or the banner you want to look as. Because, I mean, clicking the button is always really awkward. Sandbox difficulty, so this is huge for people like myself. The new mode looks cool. I agree, Legions, I agree. I think it's going to be an interesting one where this is you can fight against nobody, I believe, and you can allow multiple lords. I can see Okoye's latest video now. That's all I got to say. I have a feeling that Okoye is gonna do something with this. 20 Lord Doomstack or whatever. So custom map display. Oh wow, that's really cool. I like that. So if it's a custom map, it literally says who did it. Yeah, that's really good. I like that as a modded icon. Yeah, that's hats off to them. Given the actual respect slash what's the word? What's the terminology? The credit to them, which is good to see. So silenced UI is also a really good one. So yeah, recognition works as well. So now when you're actually silenced, you can actually see and things are grayed out, because I think beforehand there was a lot of information that you didn't have to you. So you may have been silenced and you wouldn't have known about it unless you literally looked at your character portrait, which is not common. So healing tooltip improvements. The healing tooltip that we improved in Thread Decay has been improved even further. I still liked when you in Warhammer 2 when you hovered over the little hit points, it would show you how much you can heal, but let's hope that will get in there as well. Healing vows now displayed at 2 decimal places. Okay, interesting to see. So you can see if you're on fire, then the healing modifier would be reduced by 50%. Yep, for example, the flaming attacks. The toolbit now respects intensity-based abilities that provide regeneration. For example, the Chaos War Shrine of Nergal. Okay. So modifying the stat affects the double of the healing rate. For example, 200% doubles the effectiveness of healing received. Flaming attacks half the incoming healing. Good to see. Yeah. It's one of those things where you've got to be really careful from an informational overload perspective, as you definitely can throw too much information at a player, but there's a balance, right? You got to make sure that you don't give too much information. It kind of, I don't know, almost scares people away. But at the same time, you need this information. It's good to see as well. Spawn's Vortex, Shrapnel. Use the Shrapnel feature. Now correctly displays information of Vortex or Shrapnel. Oh, interesting. So yeah, So we've got 3 magic missiles and we've got a single magic missile here. But there's a projectile here. So that's the initial projectile, and then there's the vortex of it. Which, yeah, that's really nice. I like that information. New game mode? Yes, indeed. We have a new game mode in that it is Conquest. So they're basically taking the land battle. Bloody hell, there's a lot here. Conquest mode. So they've taken the land battle mod with capture points and used that one. Which is really cool. And you can play against the AI. You can do all sorts of cool stuff. You can fight against the AI, You can, in Domination, you can fight the AI. A lot of really good changes, and it's pinned at the top. I've skimmed through the patch notes. Not much stands out for me. I'm more of a single-player campaign guy, but I want to hear your insights on it. Love your content. Yo, Chronic Pain, thank you so much, man. Much love to you, buddy. Yeah, we'll get to all the campaign-specific stuff soon. One thing I will say is, there is one thing that I know of, because the community in my Discord, somebody has already atted me, and all I gotta say is I'm absolutely fried at the 1 versus 7 we're doing at the moment because of one nerf. So the directional shield has a tooltip. That's good. Is this a... Have they nerfed the steam tanks? Because 70%, as far as I'm aware, the only thing that has this kind of breakdown is clearly directional shields. But good to see. So stability and performance fix a crash when upgrading units as Nurgles in realm battles. Interesting. Dwarf units with shield wall are no longer allowed to toggle it while docked to a wall or platform. These situations already applied formation behavior, and the overlapping actions can crash the game under certain circumstances. I mean, that's kind of sad, because you'd expect them to do that. You would expect them to use a shield wall on a wall. Right? Am I fried, or what? I mean, if you have a shield wall, you'd want to use a shield wall. So for stability's sake, they've stopped you from doing it. I mean, that's a plaster fix right there. They should definitely allow you to use shield walls on the wall. But I'm sure there's probably spaghetti in there, so... Because I like the fact that you can use shield walls, because it allows you to actually play akin to more of a historical Total War there, where you'd expect the Romans, for example, on top of a wall to protect themselves with a shield wall. Fix a crash on an old saves. The battle pathing through maps. I have actually crashed. My game has crashed a lot more than it used to. That's for damn sure. There's no room for a shield wall on the wall, IRL either. I mean, it depends. Like, when you're utilizing a shield wall, you don't have to have a ton of units. You don't need to have an absolute tons of people within a shield wall. You just need, on a wall especially, depending on where you're being shot from, like 12 people would be sufficient for a decent shield wall. Especially when you have crossbowmen and things like that akin within the actual formation. You would have crossbowmen and you'd have things within there to facilitate that niche of utilizing your ranged advantages versus your oppositions that are firing arrows into you. So I don't think you would utilize what's already pre-existing within the walls as well, right? You know, you've got a lot of historical defenses that have, like, I can't remember the exact terminology, but basically pillars within it, and you could utilize that as well. I mean, it's a similar thing you do in game. If there's a rock there, the units can't walk towards the rock, or they have to go around it. So you can use that as like a bit of a defensive situation too. So performance stuttering a campaign map, playing Oxyodal and moving the camera. That's a classic. Good old Oxyodal. I haven't played him in ages. When Chaos War's resource distribution system to avoid duplicate recalculations. I'm assuming that the recalculation duplicate is a bad thing. Fix a crash when changing settings while in battle. I mean, anything that's fixing crashes, I'm all for. Oh my balls. Okay, so campaign updates, boys. Fix a number of passive hero actions that weren't applying an effect until the action was upgraded to its first level. I know there was quite a few passives that were broken, so that's good to see. So the slave pen buildings will now correctly reduce the cost of dictats in the local province again. Yeah, great. I mean, slave pens takes a bit of time to get used to anyway and get into there. They're nowhere near as powerful as they were in Warhammer 2, right? I mean, the slave pens in Warhammer 2 were crazy. Warband recruitment tooltip for Pestigore units now correctly list Nurgle corruption as a reason for replenishment. That's good. The glaive gun can now be equipped by Drama Hammerfist, Ancestral Master Engineer. That's good. Fixed mission objective pin being visible in the pre-battle screen. Dwarf rune banners. This is literally what I was having to deal with in my campaign, where the Rune of Stoicism was basically making about a bazillion of Thorix units unbreakable. Hey, Landela. Fixed units grayed out by lightning strike, becoming active and hovering over an auto-resolve button. That's a really bad thing if you're auto-resolving it and you can't lightning strike. It's nice changes. Fix a UI issue with extra space being present in some events, like settlement occupied events. Nice. Bankruptcy attrition. Thank God. I am so happy with this one. I can't tell you how many times I was screwed over because of this right here. Bankruptcy attrition was so savage, especially when I was, doing challenge campaigns, especially. The damn, we got an early game nerf. I know, buddy. I know. I'm absolutely fried in the 1vs7. That's all I got to say. So fixing a UI issue where placement augment effect was showing on recruiting skin sub units to add recruitment. Okay. Unit icon. Quickly update the color based on the unit type. Yeah, all that's really good. When right-click on a hidden unit card would reveal it in the unit and spell browser. Oh, that's really cool. Imagine, I can so totally imagine like really meta multiplayer guys just like spam right-clicking, trying to figure out where they are. That's hella funny. When you click on highlighted skills that can be research players, animation sound. I mean, on like animations, on sounds, I recently learned in one of my streams, it was yesterday, was it? Where it auto-resolves, you know if you've won if the music of your faction plays, which I think is really cool. Awakened Immortal Hero spawning directly on top of settlements instead of around it in an invalid position. Yeah, that's really good because Beligar especially would be screwed over like crazy there. The Cathay Celestial building chain now could be constructed in minor settlements. Okay, that's good. Campaign victory screen and delay not scaling to the screen size, causing it to appear too small. Okay. Monster pen recruitment button not closing the recruitment panel. Good. Intercept range stats. Yo, Scoop, thanks for the prime, man. Appreciate it, buddy. Fix resiliency. Ability in campaign showing wrong attrition types from previewing units from other factions, such as units in the browser. Yeah, all these are really good fixes. It's crazy how many there are. You had the immortality happen to you on a settlement. Happened when you Confederate Belly Guy, Jonathan. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah, it's crazy. Iconic, it's tomorrow. And hey, Kelly, good to see you, buddy. These are out tomorrow, boys. The updates. On the 25th. So yeah, another one. Wait, haven't they? Did they list this twice, or am I fried? When right click on the unit card. Yeah, they listed it twice. Okay, I'm not fried. Okay, good. Fix AI ignoring unit cap restrictions in custom battles. Classic. Change reinforcement pop-up in battle to open on top of an army panel so that it doesn't overlap. Yeah, good. Anytime you've got overlap like this, one of my biggest quarrels in Domination is when you've got
Twitch says to let you know I've been subbed for 16 months.
Well, Per, thank you for subbing for 16 months. Much love. Yeah, in Domination, you've got the panel. Sometimes it can be really awkward where you can place it. Broken rendering causing several characters like Scarbrand, Lords of Change, and characters to disappear at times in battle. That's a terrifying prospect, Scarbrand disappearing briefly and then like attacking your backline units or something. That's fried right there. Thickness of the wall. Most walls are nice. Let them get a foothold. I mean, Exterminator, it depends on like, for me, I would love it if you can push ladders back. Like, if you've ever played Bannerlord, you can hold walls really well by pushing ladders. Like, you can literally just, anyone climbing up, just push them off. It's amazing. Hope a proper fix is coming, agreed. The Dock Siege wall ability now shows that's really good because obviously most of the time you don't really know when you've got the range increases. So as some of the things in the wood, Skink Priest units were missing the Strider attribute. It's good. Fix floating volcanoes and Malice Blood Walls. Yep. Lord's funding showing as white spotable when selecting the reinforcements. Good to know. Catch points are no longer capturable during deployment in Domination and Conquest. Okay, interesting. Lords can no longer be teleported within Domination. Okay, lots of other good things changing. Oh my god, how big is this bloody patch? Jesus. So some good changes. Loads of audio. Oh, if Karnak, what's he called? What's the dude with no throat? With no vocal cords called? My god, he's so loud. I wouldn't be surprised if he was reduced in loudness. Honestly, playing Tamakan, it's just so fried using him sometimes. So unit abilities, Spirit Conduit, effect range 0 to 100. Okay, good to know. Burning Alignment, Language of the Boys, Mistwalker's Barrage. So tons of... Wow, nerfing Mistwalker's Barrage is interesting. I know that he performed really well in multiplayer. So yeah, I believe all of these are multiplayer items as far as I'm aware. So a lot of good changes going around. Buffet, increasing the time of Gate of Nurgles. Same with all the rest of them. Rune of Hearth and Home. Oh, that's really bad. That might tick it to a threshold where it's not Perfect Vigor. This might not be Perfect Vigor anymore, which is really sad. So if you guys aren't aware, this is effectively Perfect Vigor with the with how much fatigue it reduces. Hey, Jacob. Apparently it's a buff to Mistwalker Barrage. The spread hurts it. I guess it depends, right? I guess that purely depends on what you're attacking. Because the spread will hurt it against single entities. Inventory killing, the spread would be good. So I guess it depends on what you're fighting. Because you can't have a one-shoe-fits-all kind of situation, right? So, wow, tons of random items being nerfed and Sunfang's being changed. These are loads of items being changed around. It's kind of funny. Sunfang's damage has been increased by 1. Okay. Oh, Windbow being nerfed. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, Windbow was absolutely cracked for Cathay. You could pretty much one-shot anything with the Windbow, which was kind of terrifying. Spirit Leech has been changed. I'm assuming this is number of uses 1 to 2. And I guess that's an item. I would assume an item. That I don't understand that without the context, because there's an item clearly that gives you access to it. That's the Hero Titan. I guess it's an item, yeah. Wait, reducing active time seconds, 26 seconds. Losing 3 seconds is not ideal. Maybe the vampire trait? I feel like you start with 2 already. Yeah, I thought it was a lot longer. Yeah, I thought it was a lot more. It's 4 for the vampires. Fleshy Abundance upgraded. So they're nerfing healing across the board, it looks like. Which is not... Yeah, it makes sense, honestly. I think healing... The problem we have with healing, right, is things like steam tanks can be healed with magic overgrowth, and that kind of doesn't make sense, but it makes it very powerful, right? So Hoshland Scope Hero, they've nerfed the range bonus. Now only applies to the character. Okay, that's fried. So range bonus to 10%. I mean, that's still pretty solid. Remove the Engineer Hero. Now has access to Weapon Master. Okay. So, upkeep for artillery roll machines. Okay, nice. That's a really sizable change. At 10% for artilleries, especially within an entire army, is close to 1,000 plus gold. That's a big change. Weapon Master added 10% missile strength. That's nice. And reload reduction as well. That's a sizable change. That's a sizable amount of damage for a range unit, because both of them increase it. Because if you guys don't know, they calculate the missile damage over 10 seconds. And so reducing the time to shoot, for example, if you're shooting every 11 seconds, obviously it will calculate 11 seconds, then take 10 of that, of what your damage would be. Speed no longer applies to the entire army. Okay, that's interesting. Anytime you take away casualty replenishment, it's always big sad. So these are races and balances. Special thanks to our exalted creators. That's me, I think. Wait, am I exalted? I think I'm exalted. Pog. But yeah, I think it's one of those things where shout out to everybody, really. Shout out to anybody that is, raising forums and talking about the game and asking for bug fixes and things like that. That's, everybody's a hero here, right? It's always important to provide the feedback. Obviously, you've got to provide it in a constructive manner, but good to see all that kind of stuff. Oh, collision attacks have been changed. Oh, interesting. We've added collision attacks to several large units this patch. Collision attacks are an alternative form of melee attack that is attempted when the entity collides with enemies while charging or attacking. I mean, that's always been a kid. But collision damage. Oh, interesting. So collision damage and collision attacks. Where's the numbers? Where are the numbers at? The maximum amount of damage you can do for collision damage is 77, and 70% of that is AP. So I don't know where or what the collision attacks damage profile is. This is a huge buff in general. Reducing the max splash targets makes it so that you can kill elite infantry. One of the biggest problems the Hammers actually had in fighting things was they had too many splash targets. Because they were hitting a Black Hawk, but it was being split into 4. Whereas the Black Hawks were able to hit 1 or 2, I think. So basically, splash targets is the more max splash you have, the better you are at killing chaff. The less max splash targets you have, the better you are at killing elite infantry. Is the TLDR of that one. So fix the undivided hero, missing all aura skills. So just tons of really good fixes across the board. So Beastmen. Beastmen have had reduction of gore balls and damage. So I'm assuming armor piercing is going to happen for the campaign as well. Wow, Beastmen are actually receiving some love, boys. Yeah, Beastmen are receiving a bit of love here. Which kind of terrifies. Yeah, Minotaurs are really OP for them. The Minotaur stack that I had took down Anticity. Good times. I missed the siege stages? I probably haven't gone to it yet, right? Surely I haven't missed it. This thing, the Merlons. The Merlons and the wall and sieges have had their collision removed. They should no longer block line of sight. Oh, that's huge. Yeah, that's a really big thing for handgunners. Anything that's like a gunpowder unit sucks at shooting from walls, but that should hopefully fix it. I mean, Chariot's going to get better. Chariots have always been relatively decent. I think one of the main things for Chariots is people use them wrong, per se. A Chariot becomes very valuable in the latter stages of a fight, especially in multiplayer. Like, in multiplayer, my god, Chariots are incredible later on. Like, if you have very few troops left and a guy's got a Chariot left, you can just roll over everybody. So Questing Knights have had an AP increase. Interesting. And then Grail Knights had their AP reduced. Surely you'd probably want to start using more Quest Knights then. Okay, so we've got Inspilling Inferno not applying to the fight. I knew it. Yeah, I remember that being really fried, because I was using it in my challenge campaign, and it literally didn't do anything. It didn't reduce the cost of my units. Innate traits not functioning for Demon Sorcerer is nice. When the combo rank preview would show the wrong position, okay. So it looks like a couple of units are having their cost reduced, which is obviously really good. So as a predominantly single player guy, I like the way that CA is nerfing units nowadays by increasing the cost of stuff or decreasing the cost of things instead of changing the stats, because obviously there's implications to multiplayer at the same time and single player if you do stat changes. So tons of things across the board. I never thought that Chaos Dwarves were super weak, which is interesting. Yeah, I never assumed they were super weak. And you can see that I searched for Dwarf Warriors because I wanted to know what changed about them. That was the only thing I searched for. So yeah, tons of things been reducing cost. No real changes. Upkeep cost has been reduced for magma cannons. Missile weapon now deals probably AP damage. I honestly think magma cannons aren't as good anymore. You want to use the hell cannons all day, every day. If I think they're really strong, yeah, I felt like they were pretty strong. They're not doing too great, Ryan. Well, are you playing Are you playing domination or land battle? Because obviously the meta's different. Oh my god, Demons of Chaos. Let's see how good it is. Okay, the meme. Okay, this is just no one's ever going to use him. Oh my god, Chaos Furies have been gutted. That's really bad. Guys, how many entities are on the Furies again? It's 60, right? It's 60 entities, right? I'm pretty sure it's 60 entities, if I'm not mistaken. It is 60. So that's going from 98 health per entity to 88. That's a reduction of 10 health per entity. That's kind of detrimental. And you got to keep in mind, the threshold of them dying and crumbling is way easier now. So Malice has been changed. Okay. Loads more. This is wild how much is in here, but a lot of it is multiplayer, like someone called out. So Medusas, I'm assuming, are going to be nerfed because Medusas are cracked right now. Medusas are really insane. Okay. This is so unbelievably sad. No! Man. Tier 0 Dwarf Warriors are no more. We're fried, boys. Wait, Jonathan, what's the change? Sorry. Yeah, sorry, guys. I'm trying to get through this because there's so much information here. Tier 0 Dwarf Warriors, man. I'm so fried in the 1 versus 7 at the moment now. I'm actually fried. I'm actually fried in the 1 versus 7 now. Never recruiting a warrior again. Out of solidarity, I'm not recruiting any more Dwarf Warriors now. Need to finish the 1 versus 7 before the patch? No, we're planning on playing on Sunday. They should have buffed miners. I actually agree, Jim. It's a good point. Miners just suck. The dwarf miner is just not a good unit. I would 100% agree. If you're taking the tier 0 away, you have to then buff miners. It's like, oh, we're trying to give dwarf miners more of an aegis within the meta, / within the campaigns. They suck. Why would you ever recruit them anyway? Maybe it wasn't applying to AP strength, so that's clearly for, I imagine, Malachi. Grudge Wreckers no longer fire both barrels with the first shot, and just a puff of smoke with the second. Additionally, they now fire correctly when targeting higher or below them. Wait, so you're telling me Grudge Wreckers only shot once? Now probably applied to the Trait Holders army instead of all armies? Okay. Collision box size and dwarf infantry units have been reduced very slightly, as it's a bit too generous in most cases. Bruh. You're having a laugh, boys. All Ancestor Spirits have had their HP increased to match the unit that they're based on. That's pretty solid. I'm just sad about that. That's really bad in general for the dwarfs. I mean, they're buffing Great Weapon Dwarf Warriors, but you'll never use them anyway. I mean, with the buffs, maybe this is enough of a threshold to start using Great Weapons. Because the amount of buffs you can give to Longbeards now is pretty hard. Like, the Great Weapons variants is pretty decent. You would never use Great Weapon Quarrelers, though. You'd be trolling if so. Wow, Bugman's range has been buffed is nice. Especially in multiplayer, you use quite a lot of Bugmans against like things like Vampire Coast. Giant Slayer's being buffed, nice. Projectile Mass. Prevent units from being knocked down by the first shot, resulting in the second shot missing. Great change. Well, let's just ignore this bolt thrower, because they'll always be garbage, so... Wait, have they nerfed bolt throwers? Oh my god, there's 8 models! Oh my god, we might actually recruit... Oh my god. Bolt throwers with Thoric might be good. Insane bonuses is large. There's 8 of them, so each of them get 50 bonuses as large. So you can actually counter monstrous infantry and cavalry now. I mean, that is a huge glow up. That's a huge glow up. No jokes, that's a huge glow up for them. Oh my god, the Thunder Badge has been changed again. Less damage though, but you've got 4 more entities, so overall it's an increase in damage, right? So you can take the 26 damage reduction, but you have 4 more entities. So it's overall, what, like a 70% damage increase or something? 70%? Wait, I missed a huge Malice nerf? What was the Malice change? Malice has been nerfed hard? Wait, really? Have they completely butchered Malice? Why would you need to butcher Malice anyway? He's not... has he ever been a problem? Has Malachi... has he ever been a problem? I don't think Malice has ever been that bad. Like, I've never thought to myself, he is too overpowered. It's physical resistance, not ward save. That's fried. Especially with how much magical damage is in the game. That's brutal. That means wow. Yeah, that's crazy. So let's have a look at Thunder Badges. Huge nerfs again. The primary missile weapons are the bomb bays at the bottom. It doesn't matter too much. That's not that bad. And they've increased the cost again. I actually don't think they're that good. Not even kidding. I do not think Thunder Badges are that OP. At 3,000 cost, they aren't that OP. For 3,000, you can get bolt throwers, you can get tons of quarrelers, you can get so much more things. That's kind of crazy. So the gyrocopters. Ammo of primary missile. They've increased the ammunition of the brimstone guns. Oh, Lord. Okay, GG's. Gyrocopters are good. I hate the fact that they buff them like crazy and then just gut them again. Like, that is crazy. That is a huge nerf. That is a crazy nerf. I called this. I literally said this, that the second they get buffed, they're gonna be nerfed. I legitimately said they overbuffed them and they're gonna be nerfed, and obviously they've just done this. That is a heavy-handed nerf. That is a really heavy-handed nerf. That's a 25% nerf. That's a lot. But it'll still be OP. They'll still be OP, boys, don't worry. They can be Doomstack. They'll still be pretty damn good. They'll still be really, really good, don't worry. Yeah, Brimstones, I agree, OPM. They mistakenly did this. Brimstone guns only had 8 ammunition, so it's gone from 8 to 42. So Brimstones are probably going to be good now. Brimstones may be good now. Bloodbatch has had several changes, made its missile weapon in order to slow its damage output for a bit. Yep, so nerfing the bombs. So nerfing everything across the board. Apart from increasing the bomb damage. Nerfing the cannon damage. The Spirit of Grungy. Okay. Grand Cathay. So multiply changes. Where Miao Ying wasn't going to tell us tonight within Dragon Form. Good changes. Seitang being gutted alongside of his item as well. Makes sense. He was too powerful. Randomly given the Peasant Archers tons more capture weight. Okay. I mean, the upkeep cost changes are the only thing that really matters there. So the greenskins mainly just upkeep stuff. Goblin Great Shaman and a Ragnarok Spider. Relatively decent buffs. Honestly, I would rather have a Great Shaman and a Spider than a Grimgore. Just me. Maybe that's just me. I think everything else is trash. The Biggins. Splash target reductions is good, as you definitely don't want to be hitting a lot of inventory. Damage increases, which means the damage spread will be better. Night Goblin nerf? Bonuses inventory has been reduced on the Cave Squig. I can get that. I get that. Plus 40 is kind of cracked. Wait, Tyrion gets magical and flaming attacks now. Elithanar Decoy has been buffed. Okay. Rangers get Vanguard deployment. Guess that makes sense. The Great Eagle has been reduced in cost. What have they done to Khorne? What have they done to Khorne? Are we feeling corny, boys? Buffs to the Gorbeast chariots. I'm loving the changes to the chariots. Right, guys, be honest. Will you guys use chariots with the buffs that are happening to them? Press 1 in the chat if you will. Type 1 in the chat if you would actually want to use the buff chariots. Type 2 if you don't. Be honest with me. They're trying really hard to get chariots to become a thing, and I'm going to be very surprised if they will become a thing. I just really don't think they'll ever become a thing. And the reason why they'll never become a thing is for this exact reason. Who could be bothered to micromanage a chariot? It's like a part-time job. It's a part-time job using a chariot unit, so screw that. So yeah, Furies have been nerfed across the board. That's a good change, but they were too strong. They were way too strong. Anything cavalry chariots are garbage? Nah, chariots cavalry is not garbage. You can fight. You can actually fight in melee with cavalry. Chariots don't have enough entities to fight properly. So melee attack nerfs across the board, it looks like here, which is needed. Kislev are very, very strong. I mean, Kislev across the board needed more nerfs. Like, I'm not even kidding when I say this. I think in most situations, Kislev are banned in tournaments because of how broken they are. So yeah. You would need some relatively heavy-handed nerfs, but not too heavy. But yeah, Kislev are mainly banned from all forms of tournaments because they're way too overpowered. So Gorok has been changed. Good to see, good to see. Dread Saurians have been buffed. Interesting. Shred of Lustria. Wow. changing the splash damage definitely helps a lot. As with the 12 of splash damage, with the damage that they have, you would run the risk of not being able to kill whatever you're hitting. If you're splashing into 12 targets, you probably wouldn't kill it. Oh my god, Norska updates. Pog. What have they changed for Norska? Increased armor. Okay, a little bit of damage. Am I coping? That I feel like there'll be big buffs. Female Warriors being buffed is nice. Yeah, some decent buffs for units here. I like where they're taking the max splash targets, reducing the making it so you're better at killing elite infantry. Okay, that was big sad. Okay. I don't know. Honestly, every single time I feel like I'm like coping out of my mind, seeing Nurgle change, seeing Norscan changes, and hoping it's a big change. Adjusted the difficulty of Tamarkan with the following changes to balance its impact. Reduce the power level of the bombardment. Makes perfect sense. This bombardment, for no reason, is so overpowered. It is so unbelievably good. Additional usage of Max and Chieftain to 1. Okay. Ward save to physical resistance is a really heavy nerf. So fixing some things with the Rot Knights were suffering penalty to leadership from fear despite having terror. Yeah, honestly, you'd never really see these normally because of the fact that they're just so strong. Oh my god, this bad boy right here. It was like... It was mad how loud it was. But here's the kicker, boys. Tamarkan's defeat rate's been nerfed. Rip. Rip. Rest in pieces. To be expected, yeah. Yeah, he was farmed for his defeat rate a lot, right? He was farmed a lot for his defeat rate. Bit sad they were nerfed like that, but Plagueos has been nerfed as well. So Mass has been nerfed. Charge bonus is buffed. Melee attack reduced. Interesting that they've decided to nerf the melee attack a little bit. Taking him down a bit. Walk speed has increased, which is good. Pox Riders bonuses inventory. This is all they changed about the ogres. Bruh. Okay. So now some Skaven changes. It feels like... Oh, I guess there's a DLC coming out, right? It was a DLC. Hey, Paven. I guess there's a DLC, so makes sense. They'll fix them there. Halberds have been buffed, which is good. I love Storm Vermin, but they never get used. Because why would you use them? Leadership increases changes nothing. Their stat line is garbage, so they can't really fight in melee. Sunesh, what have we done here? Nakari's been introduced. What's the actual things? Demon Prince of Sunesh changes. Nice. Mainly recruitment costs here. Hellstrider's getting bonuses large additionally, which is nice. Wow, a lot of changes to Sunesh. I think it's because they're really out of meta right now. To put it in perspective, they suck. Great changes here. Right, I mean, tons of changes to the Empire there. Tomb Kings have had some changes as well. Max collisions on... It's crazy they don't have collision attacks, by the way. But I don't know if they're mistaking the wording with collision attacks and collision damage. So, yeah, most of it does seem to be multiplayer-esque. Vampire Coast. Wow, a lot of buffs accordingly. Really nice changes there. Tons of buffs coming through. Jesus, they've actually buffed up a lot of them. Removing... Oh, they've nerfed Von Carstein Ring. To physical resistance. Dude, why are they doing that across the board? It's such an interesting decision. What else? Narrow changes. What else? I mean, there's so many... Like, so many of these specific factions. Goated patch. Yeah, I mean, they did a great job. Right, that's me done. Boys. Thank you for watching. Lots of great changes there, honestly. I'm pretty happy with that. Lots of really good changes. So make sure to go check out... Look at this. Look at me scrolling. God damn. Right, I'll be live a little bit later on today, boys. I'm going to be live a little bit later on today, but I've got to go join a meeting, which sucks balls, but it is what it is. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful rest of your mornings, evenings, nights, wherever in the world. You guys are incredible. You guys are breathtaking. Never forget that. And thank you for watching as always. I really do appreciate you. But yeah, thanks for watching the content, guys. You're amazing. And we'll be back at it again. We'll most likely be live a little bit later on, but take care of yourselves, boys. You guys are incredible. Appreciate you watching. And I shall see you later on today or tomorrow. Appreciate you, boys. Thanks for watching.